I kind of feel like I can't really see what's going on because of the way that I record this. I am not streaming to Periscope because it is kind of a pain to do it the way that I've been doing it. Plus, I can't see comments. I can't see comments when I'm streaming to Periscope. So I'm gonna also stream if it lets me. Usually I have this stuff like ready before I even start, but I am not prepared. I think you guys know this, most of you all. And it's, oh, there we go. Oh boy, okay, so I really fail this time around. I have to actually enable Facebook to have my camera stuff, because I take that away because Facebook is a little bit crazy when it comes to, like, getting your pictures and your, all that kind of stuff. So, like, I disable it when I don't want Facebook to have it. And yeah. Okay. Now it's going to kick me completely out. Nice. Alright. You would think from this that I'm completely unaware as to what the heck I am doing, but no. No, I'm fully aware. That makes no sense. What else do I have to give it access to? Hold on, guys. If this doesn't work, then I'll just start, because you guys are just sitting there waiting for me to start, and I appreciate that. Normally I'd be like, oh, I'll wait for the viewers to come in or whatever, but, I'm not. That's typically not me. Oh, for the love of crab cakes. Okay. No, this is not working. Well. Okay, Facebook. Forget that. I'm done. Anyway, just take away my permissions later on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream thing. I'm trying to. Okay, so my background is going to be messy. Excuse that. That will change shortly in the future because I am moving. And so everything is a mess behind me because I'm packing. And next door, they are putting together a pool. So I'm trying not to be distracted by that as well. So I was going to do a video, but I find that it's easier just to like do these kinds of live stream things because like I feel like it's easier on my internet. So anyway, I have my coffee and it is totally keto. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen what it looks like when it's like awesome and not like completely a mess. Anyway, so this past weekend, I went to my parents' house and I wanted to talk about a couple of things in regards to that. I also want to talk about MCT oil, hot or cold, and a couple of other just stuffity stuffs and get your opinion on some stuff that involving like keto and your way of doing things and whatnot. So, first of all, um, I went to my parents' house this past weekend, and if you guys saw the video I did probably back when I first started keto, I think in March, soon after I had just started, maybe a week or two in, it was hell. and I was so whiny and so intolerable and irritable and just angry the entire time. And this was a complete 180 this past weekend. Not only with me, but I mean, even with my parents. And not that they were a problem to begin with, it's just that they didn't understand. But like, I have some awesome stuff that I have to say about them. But it was a completely different weekend, completely different. So my big fear in moving is that I just can't around my family. Any kind of dieting I try to do around my family is just so much harder because they eat out a lot and they eat a lot of sugar and fast foods and stuff like that. So my fear was that I wasn't going to be able to adhere to my diet around them. There was just no way. But this past weekend has taught me different. And if anything, also this past weekend has taught me that they are going to be more than supportive. Um, so I got there on Saturday. They came to pick me up, and I gave my mom a hula hoop for Mother's Day. And so she was finally able to pick it up, and we were just talking, and we went to a local area around here that has a bunch of different restaurants, and we went walking around and just looking at everything. The first thing we did after breakfast was we went into a candy store, and I'm sorry guys, I don't have anything to warn about triggers here. But we went into a candy store, and it was funny because I've been around candy. I've been like in the grocery stores and stuff like that, and I figure, well, if I'm going to go off of keto for something, it'd probably be like a more decadent thing than candy. But this store had pretty much everything, like everything. And I'm not gonna go into description because, like I said, I can't warn about triggers or anything like that. But one of the first things that we saw was like all my grandpa's favorite types of candy, which kind of gave us the sense that he was with us, like he was there with us and saying hello. And plus, they were candies I didn't care for, so it was cool. But like, so we went through the candy store, we went through the fruit section and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't really pay attention. I was just like following my mom around. I didn't bother to look around because there's no need. I wasn't going to buy anything. It wasn't really my, I'm not gonna buy anything. So, um, if you don't look, you can't buy. So I chose not to look at any of the candy. Um, we went to the fruit section. We got out of there, and normally, if I was gonna make a mistake, it'd be the fruit. But my mom did grab a couple of huge avocados, which gave me hope for the weekend that I'd be okay with some good fat. Um, Hold on, guys. 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I was seeing something else. Um, so, okay. Anyway, so, yeah, so I totally, like, did good in there. Did good pretty much everywhere I went. And, um, guys, hold on. I might have to come back because it's telling me that it's not streaming. I don't know if I'm streaming, so hang on. I shall return. Think. Okay, so it had said it wasn't streaming. It was streaming. Okay. Phew. So anyway, so I was telling you about, we went to, it's called, and so we went pretty much just exploring around there. Then after that, we went back to the house. When we went out to breakfast, I stayed keto. And then later that day, my parents brought, my mom said she was gonna go get chicken. So I said, okay, that's fine, whatever, I can eat chicken. So she came back with KFC, and she had bought me like one of those meal things where it's like the chicken, the sides, the biscuit, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, great. Because there was like, pretty much everything that comes in one of those things and a cookie. And I thought I was going to lose my shit, like for real. But surprisingly, I just kind of sat there looking down at it. I'm like, okay, you can either put on weight and just totally, you know, say screw it to your keto lifestyle this weekend, or you can put on your big girl chones and make a decision as to how you're going to handle not only this instance, but every instance throughout your life here. And I really sat there and I was like, well, I know I can eat the chicken, so I'm just going to mull it over while I eat this chicken. So I was like, at first I kind of thought, well, gosh, they're really being insensitive. They know I'm on a diet. I don't know why she did this. And I was kind of like frustrated. So I went to a keto group, and this is going to bring me into my next topic too. I went to a keto group and I said, look, my mom bought me dinner, and I know she was trying to be nice, but they know I'm on a diet or I'm eating differently. And they still bought me all this stuff I can't eat. How do I go about um, explaining to them what I eat and helping them to understand my diet? So the amount of hatred or vehemence or just anger and defensiveness that came from the group toward my parents was really like, I I guess I would say off-putting, or it kind of took me aback. Like, I was like, I'm not saying they were doing this, spitefully. Like, because I got comments like, oh, they're trying to sell you on a low-fat diet. Oh, let's see, they're trying to sell you on a low-fat diet. They're not being respectful of how you eat. Like just things that were very defensive and just angry. And that's not how I think I presented it. Um, so I ended up turning off the comments because it started, frankly, to piss me off. And I was like, some people had really good ideas. Give them a list, do that. Tell them, explain to them what you can eat. Rational, reasonable ways of going about it. But for every one of those comments, there was at least 3 to 5 comments that were just negative. And like, I understand that we end up having to defend this way of eating to a lot of people. I understand that. But if I had taken that approach, I would have missed one of the nicest things my mom has said to me. And so I said, okay, I'll turn off the comments, and I ate my dinner. I gave the mashed potatoes and gravy to my sister, put the biscuit back in the biscuits bag that was like a communal thing. They gave her extra, so I just put it in the extra. And I announced to the entire house that there was a cookie up for grabs in the microwave because I didn't want to eat it. And once I had given it to the house, it wasn't mine. So that's how I tolerated it and dealt with it. And I just ate the chicken, and I was happy with that. And I ate my pistachios. So I got through it, and I sat there with myself, kind of, happy with my victory because I got through it, and that was a breakthrough for me. Last time that would have been a whole bunch of crying and pissed off, and this time it was a breakthrough, and it felt good. So I knew that, like, in that second, that I could handle temptation way better than I did last time. And so the next morning, my dad made breakfast, and he made stuff I could eat. He made sausages and eggs, and he made like other stuff because I think he thought I could eat it. And what happened was, so he made breakfast, and my mom and I went out shopping because I needed to find a cabinet for when I'm living there. So we were talking, and I brought up, somehow dinner got brought up. And my mom was like, yeah, I know you eat differently, and we're trying to accommodate you, we really want you to feel comfortable. And I was like, see, I knew. She had said that she had actually ordered me coleslaw, but I guess they messed up the order. So, and she goes, and she figured if I couldn't eat it, I could give it to my dad. So, like, if I had been defensive, if I had been that rude as to be like, I can't eat this, I would have missed something very supportive and a huge breakthrough. Because when I was in high school, I was vegetarian for a year and a half, and they never once supported that. They never even bothered to, like, do that for me. But when my sister went vegetarian, they kind of have gone all out for her and have really been accommodating for her. So I always thought it's that they didn't care what I was doing. And to find out she was trying to really be supportive, but and make me feel included. Like, I was like, see, I knew it wasn't a place where I had to be that defensive. And it kind of really made me feel like, I understand that keto is definitely a diet or a way of eating, or however you view it, that we kind of have to be defensive about. I know how it was when I was on Atkins and I had to constantly be defending the way that I ate to people and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. But, I'm just asking people who feel that defensive to just take a step back for just a moment and explore the fact that it may be just that you need to give people a minute to be supportive or to show their understanding. And I feel so much more confident in that weekend than I did last time, that I could survive living with my parents and actually sticking to a way of eating that is healthy for me. Um, so the next day, we ate out again. My family does eat out, but we've been able to find ways that we can eat together and I can still be ketogenic. And not only that, but I'm educating them on um my dog's dreaming. I'm also educating them on, like, the way that sugar impacts the glycemic index, and I'm also educating them on sugar alcohols because my dad's diabetic. So it's kind of it was a I don't necessarily foresee them doing keto, and that's all right. But I do foresee them having a better understanding about the way that they eat, and might be helping them with that. So I'm trying to explain to my dad, because my dad is trying. Like, they're both really trying, and it's so cute because they're like, okay, well, can you eat this? Okay, well, can you eat that? um, so my dad, I'm trying to help him out, and I really do. I think I've explained on the channel before that because of my hypothyroidism, I need to carb up some days. And for those days, I would kind of like to do sweet potato, but I'm afraid to do that because I don't want to confuse my dad. So I'm staying strictly keto for a while, and then maybe I will quote unquote sneak some sweet potatoes here and there so I don't confuse my dad. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, this has been a very educational experience in staying keto. Um, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is, you know, I kind of wanted to start before. Well, actually, before I go into that, I wanted to ask you guys: what are your experiences with your family, as far as keto is concerned, and have they been receptive to it? Do they have questions about it? Because, like, I know that my family is very mixed. Like, my parents are being very supportive. They don't think it's dangerous, or they don't have a problem at all. Um, my sister is my sister-in-law is a health coach, but she's like a low-fat diet health coach, and I think we have vast differences on approaching ketosis because her diet deals in ketosis as well, but it's different than how ketogenically we do it. And yes, there are ways of approaching ketosis, which I learned through talking to her. But hers seems a lot more restrictive and a lot less forgiving. But that's just my opinion on it. Um, so, what do you guys? What are your experience has been with your family. Can you talk to your family about the way that you eat, and do they try at all to understand? The next thing I want to talk about was MCT oil. So I have Now Foods MCT oil. I believe it's a C8, C10 MCT oil, and I have been, and it has not worked at all for me. The mental clarity has not been there. The like just the energy that people say that they get from it, like all the benefits that people say that they get from MCT oil, I have not been getting. I wish I had a straw. Okay, so I actually left I wouldn't say negative because I gave it some stars, but I left a kind of meh review of the MCT oil on Amazon this morning because I had not, I've been using it and I've been increasing what I use because I figured, well, maybe I'm not using enough. So then I started measuring it out, like 2 tablespoons worth, and still nothing's been happening. So this morning I left a negative review. Like it was kind of, like I said, meh. So also this morning I decided I didn't want hot coffee. I wanted like like an ice mocha. So I blended myself a bulletproof coffee like I normally would, but I put some ice in it and I added some cocoa. Like the pure non-alkali processed, like it was organic cocoa powder, as well as some MCT oil. And I gotta tell you, I feel more alert today, more energetic today. I feel a little sharper, not much, a little sharper. And I don't know if it's maybe the cocoa. I don't know if it's using MCT oil cold or not. Perhaps I'm going to have to try this cold and without cocoa powder and see what, if anything, that does for me. But I'm wondering if you guys have had any experiences using MCT oil, hot versus cold, and if that did anything differently for you. Again, I know that for me, and I put this in my review, I know for me that things are going to be different because my thyroid is extremely slow, and I am not on thyroid medication. So I know that I'm giving the product the leeway that my thyroid is slow and that I don't process or metabolize foods like normal. But having it cold seems to, I mean, at least today, from my perspective, today seems to be working. So I'm just curious as to your guys' experiences with the MCT oil, hot versus cold, and what you have, what you think about it. Because I'm definitely going to, because I've tried cooking with MCT oil, and that didn't do anything. Again, like I put it in my coffee, that didn't do anything. So warm, maybe it just doesn't do as much for me as when it is cold. And I think that's pretty much all I was going to talk about today. I just kind of wanted to share my experiences with you guys as to what's been going on with me and the keto. So until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye!